What's going
Hello,
on, Alex?
hello. What's happening, Dirk? It's good to see you, buddy.
It is good to see you. We're back again.
We're back.
It's been a crazy week. So we're here. Let's talk about some stuff. We'll see if anybody joins. I know that the time change just happened this morning, so
Yeah.
people may still be confused by that. I know I am. I was on the East Coast all last week, got back yesterday afternoon, and then the time changed, and I woke up at like ridiculous, I don't know, 3:30 Pacific this morning because I was still on East Coast time and the time change. So I'm just a mess, but that's
Yep,
okay.
understood. I think all of us are going to be a little off, but that's okay.
Byron, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, this morning, we kind of promoted the show late this week because I was traveling. Alex and I didn't really catch up much during the week. So we kind of set it up in the stream just like an hour or two ago. I was out doing some family stuff today. And so, yeah, so viewers may be down, but they can catch it afterwards. I don't know. I haven't really looked to see how many people watch afterwards. It's not that much.
Doesn't matter, man. As
It's all
long
right.
as we have we know we have our usuals that like to watch the show, and that's who we do this for. So I say let's just
Exactly.
roll with it.
That's what we do. We're just going to roll with it. So, yeah, so we came up with the topic of, do we carry too much? What is too much? What do we carry every day? And what I think what we're really talking about in this episode is your normal just EDC, not, hey, I'm going
Not
backpacking or I'm not, going on some, specific thing. It's more just generally when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the office, you go to the movies, that sort of carry is what we're kind of talking about in today's episode.
well, and some people carry a bunch of crap, man. Like some people are like heavily equipped, like an extra couple pounds on their persons, you know?
Agreed. And that's what I want to kind of get. And if anybody so if you're watching either live, comment right now so we can see what it is you're carrying. And if you're watching after the fact, comment because we still read every comment of people that watch tomorrow, next week, whatever, right? I still try to stay up on all the comments. So tell us, what do you normally just carry in a day-to-day setting? And I'll start off with what I actually carried today because I only got home recently. Today, I had obviously a knife. I had the RJ Martin Q36 SS, one of my favorite and most carried knives. I also carry a pen. Today, it happened to be the Tactile Turn bolt action bolt lever in titanium. I always carry this extra, not necessarily essential item, but I do. It has a little LED flashlight and it's a small little Swiss Army Victorinox. The thing I use the most on this is the Phillips screwdriver.
Oh, that's cool.
It gets used so much, it's unbelievable. It didn't get used today, but that's okay. I also always have a flashlight. Recently, it's been this one from Yellow Day Energy, the ZRF7 something. I don't know. It's Yellow Day Energy. He has just pretty much one torch. This is a single emitter. I'm trying to give this 18350 size another chance, but it's just too big. I think I'm going to go back to my Olight AAAs, but we'll see.
That's what she said.
Yeah. And then I always have a watch. Today was the Rolex Air King. And then two other things. I always have my wallet. I use a tri-hold wallet. So three-way front left pocket. And I always have my phone, usually two phones, and my car keys, which is a key fob and then a house key. And then oftentimes I do carry, I did not today, but I brought it out anyway, a challenge coin. Oftentimes I forget to throw one in my pocket. This was sent in by a viewer from Tools for Gents, I think it's called, and it's a rule number 9.
I bought a knife there before. That's a cool place.
Yeah, they got cool stuff. This was from a viewer from, I want to say Switzerland, Denmark, Germany, somewhere. I don't remember exactly where he was from, but yeah, he hit me up somewhere, asked for my address, and sent that coin over to me from overseas. So it was kind of cool. Yeah. So that's the type of stuff I carry. There's always a knife, a watch, a light, phones, that stuff. We got Tie Addiction in here. He was carrying his XM18, which he just recently got. He told me about on the side, which is very cool.
I had one of those today too, actually. Yeah, I had good old XM18.
I had an XM24 that I owned for a while, a non-flipper XM24. I really liked it. And somebody commented on one of my videos recently that they still have it because I sold it, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. It's been a while since I sold it. And the guy who bought it commented that he's still carrying it and still loves it. That's one I kind of miss having.
I had a 24 as well. I sold it to Alice Paracord's hubby. Kind of regret selling it. That was a cool one. Every XM Hinder profile like type knife that I have, they were all M390 DLT exclusives. So all 3 sizes in DLT exclusive, which is like a different steel and a couple other little things. And then all the screws, I always do them all the way up. So I did kind of like an inverse with this one, right? Like you got the carbon fiber that's textured with this one with the bronze accents. And if you flip it around, it's like inverse,
Yes.
So that's how I colored it. Yeah.
All right. So you had that in your pocket today.
I had the Casio.
Okay.
One that I actually modified right there. It's a little A1300, which is pretty cool. And that's it. I don't carry too much. I mean, my wallet and my keys. And then on my keys, I have the little key that flips out into a knife from SOG.
Okay.
I've had that thing on my keychain probably for, I'd say probably 7 years. It still actually cuts. I think I've barely maybe stropped it once or twice. I haven't like really maintained it.
Yeah.
And
do you find yourself do you find yourself using that quite often?
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just so convenient.
Pry bar. I use it as a little cutting tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're like, oh shit, I forgot a knife. Well,
whoa,
I have a little tiny knife on my keys.
You forgot a knife?
Well, let's say like if I'm at work, sometimes if it's a bigger bulky knife, I'll put it in my drawer because I'm leaning over and like pocket clips can scratch cars, and I'm leaning on cars all the time. So if it's a big knife, I put it in the drawer when I'm like out there working on cars and stuff like that. Otherwise, it's in my pocket. And but I generally carry my car keys, which has a little mini LED flashlight on it, and that little key knife, which has been really robust, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not born in the US, so every once in a while I've had to go to immigration, do paperwork and stuff like that. And once in a while that thing's been on my keychain, and I go inside and I'm like, oh shit, they caught it, so they tell me, well, we could throw it away, you could go back and come back. I'm like, okay, let me go back, come back. I hide it somewhere, hope that when I come back to it, it's still there, kind of thing. And I've done that 3
times. Have they ever not caught it?
Yes.
Just curious on things like that. Like I try to be good when I go places to not carry things so I don't become that guy. But I'm curious, if things get through that shouldn't here and there. Like, it's just
Well,
interesting.
keep in mind, this has been on my keychain, like, and not been removed for
Yeah.
like 7 years, right? So I don't do it intentionally.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I get it. It's
and I
tough.
don't make a big scene. I'm like, I
Yep.
apologize profusely, and I'm
Right.
like, hey, you know what? Let me leave, get out of line. I'll
Yep.
come back without it. And so I go outside, I take it off the keychain, I hide it under some sort of trash can that's hopefully closed. I'm looking around, making sure nobody sees me stashing it.
Right.
And I've done that 3 times and I still always find it. It's like that thing will never go
Okay.
away.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so there's that.
Like this gets carried. I've carried this actual knife for probably 20 years. It's always been in my pocket. Even before I was like a knife guy, I've just had this for a long time. And then the light, I've had this type of light. I actually bought a pack of like 20 or something on eBay
Right.
10-ish years ago. And so when it dies, I just replace it.
Right.
And I still have some in the bag because that does seem to die because I'm sure it gets activated in my pocket and I don't even notice it type of thing. So that one the battery does wear out. So that's very cool. So let's look at Byron. He carries a fixed blade, a modern folder, a traditional, a phone, a pencil, a pen, and his keys. And
So
then afterwards,
Byron, do you carry that a whole thing every day? Like, is that like your routine? Like, I carry a fixed blade, a modern folder, which is probably he means like something like this,
flipper or
right?
something, yeah.
And then a slip joint, a traditional, right?
Yep.
And then phone, pencil. Pencil's old school. I mean, if you ask me. So that's kind of
And
cool. I'd like to know why the pencil and the pen. And
that's
then
a
you
great
got your
question.
keys, right?
And is that in your pockets or is that in like a little off-body like
Like a
bag that you
belt
carry? Like,
thing.
something like that.
Almost never carries a flashlight or a watch unless needed.
But you're not going to know you're going to need a flashlight until you need it.
It's true.
And I get the watch thing because everybody has a phone. It doesn't matter if you got
True.
iPhone, Android, a flip phone. Everybody's got a phone and it always tells you the time. So I understand the watch thing is not super common, especially in like the younger, like the 20 something guys. They're not really wearing watches because they got the phones. I get that, but it's interesting.
Hey, nobody understands that better because let's be real, Dirk. While you and I knew each other, I didn't always wear a watch.
That's true.
I mean, I had watches from before you and I met. Like I had that Tissot C-Star 1000 and I had like a couple okay like watches, but I didn't collect or buy them, right?
Right.
And then, so I understand about not always wearing a watch, but I have now turned into that guy that's got the tan line right here.
Yes.
So, like, and one day I decided I wasn't going to wear a watch for whatever reason. I ran to work and then I had that tan line and all my coworkers like making comments, it was pretty funny.
That's funny. Now, I don't wear a watch usually around the house. Like if I'm just here all day working in my office, like on a normal Monday through Friday when I'm sitting here working, I generally do not have a watch on. I put the watch on when I leave the house.
Okay.
So Byron's got another comment here. If I need a pry bar, I carry the Rosecraft application jack. It has a small pry in lieu of a glass breaker. I'm not familiar with that, but that's very cool. CPM, what is going on?
Like, you know what I like for a pry bar is my little rut tool. That little thing with like the razor and it's got a little pry bar. That little EDC gear piece I actually carry quite often, and I like that thing a lot.
Which is another cool one.
That's another cool little piece of kit.
Yep. CPM says he doesn't carry too much, just a knife, wallet, keys, and a phone. All right, what's up?
One thing I do also carry, Dirk, is that same exact pen you just pulled into the screen. I have that exact same one, the tactile turn.
I like the feel of it. I also have a second one here at my desk with the side click.
I have one of those too.
I got a deal from my buddy Joseph. He bought one. I think he thought it was the slim and he clicked on the wrong one or something. And he didn't want this one, so he bought the slim and he sold this to me at like a deal. I don't like the side click. It works great for my office, but when I put it in my pocket, because I put my pen in my back pocket, I got to kind of push it in and then it like deploy. Like, so this doesn't work for me in my pocket, but it's a great for like on my desk because I really like the ink cartridge that they use. And so it just writes smooth. It feels good in my hand. It's the standard size, which my buddy Joseph thinks is a big pen. I'm going to replace
think it's perfect.
One
I use the standard. Yeah, that's the one that I use. So I have that I've had that tactile turn pen for years, like at least 3 years. I've had that thing. And I work as a service writer. So every single card that comes in has to have a sign repair order, and customers use my pen all the time to sign stuff. They always drop it because it's heavier than they expected. And I can tell you, like, that pen has taken the real beating of time. Like, it's been dropped numerous times. It doesn't dent. I was surprised, for it being like machine titanium. Those pens are really, really good. Like, I stand behind those tactile turn. The tie bolt's the one that I have. And then I have a side click too in that Overland finish they did, which was like OD green and then FDE. So that was kind of cool, but very cool. Yeah, I like those pens.
Yep. So 1 minute knife review. Oh, a list. Okay, right scrub knife, left scrub knife, shirt pocket OTF, left pocket OTF, pry bar with an oxygen chuck, Open Pro small twist light. These are every day except at home. The items vary. Wow.
So I don't want to be an amateur, but what's a scrub knife?
I'm thinking he's talking about his scrub pants, like scrubs, like at the hospital.
Oh, like he's wearing scrubs.
Got like a knife in his left scrub and a knife in his right scrub. I think that's how I'm reading it, but please, 1 minute, let us know on that.
And welcome 1 minute. I've seen your videos. They're cool.
Welcome. And then Byron kind of comes back. He goes, I'm a builder. Avoid breaking watch crystals, flashlights, etc. And all of his stuff is in his pockets, but other equipment is kept in the truck. The large fixie hatchet, flashlights, Leatherman, tool bags, etc., etc., etc. Okay.
Byron has to have a hatchet in there in case he needs to, like scalp somebody.
Yep. And then we got Jason from BC Edge. Thanks for joining. So standard, he's got his left pocket is the phone only. Right pocket houses keys with a Karas MIX6 Lite, a leather wallet, chapstick. I do carry chapstick quite a bit depending on the weather and where I am. And he, surprise, surprise, he carries an interface, VC Edge interface, number 17. Car key fob in the mini pocket. Okay, like the little coin pocket, fifth pocket, whatever you want to call it. Mostly in shop, though, so tools all around. Now, since Jason's in the chat here, at least for a moment, I have a story about interface number 80. That was one of the knives I took with me on my trip to New York. I met a friend for dinner, a knife friend, while I was in New York just last week. And I brought a couple of knives. The interface was in my pocket. I had the RJ Martin with me, and I had the Spyderco World Trade Center knife. I reached down in my pocket to pull out the interface, and it's not there. And I was like, oh, crap. And I frantically check my other pocket. I check my jacket. I check everywhere. And it's
Your
gone.
left scrub, your right scrub.
Yeah, it was not there. And I thought, great, I lost it in one of the 2 cabs it took me to get to dinner. And so what am I going to do? Call Yellow Cab and be like, hey, I dropped something in one of the 27,000 cabs in New York City. So we go about having dinner. I show off the other knives that were in my laptop bag or my backpack that I took with me. And I'm thinking, great, now I'm going to have to go home. I'm going to reach out to Jason. I'm going to have to spend a lot more money to make a new interface number 80.2 or something, I'm thinking. We go home. I still have nothing. I get back to my hotel. I unpack everything. I'm looking. Maybe I left it on the sink or something. Nope. I pick up my backpack off of the bed to put it in the chair so I can get into bed. The thing had hooked itself somehow onto the straps from my bag. So I made it out of the taxi, into the restaurant, back into the cab, all the way back to the hotel.
While the thing was Spider-Man.
Well, it was just hanging from the clip on my bag. So I still have it. That's the moral of the story. I think it got hung up as I was getting in and out of the cab at one point because something did kind of tug, but I thought it was my bag stuck in the door, like one of the straps in the door. So I had opened the taxi door and then it kind of came in because I thought I closed the door too fast. Oh, dude, my heart was not good during dinner. So, yeah. All right, let's see. So,
yeah,
we got Dave in the house. For those of you that may or may not know, we don't go through and say hi to every single person in the chat. That gets a little monotonous for people to do that. 1 Minute Knife says it's a leg pocket. So the scrubs he's talking about is the leg pocket of his scrubs and the shirt pocket. So he must wear scrubs and work in the medical field, apparently. Yes, Jason, that was absolutely terrifying. I was not happy during dinner. I was with 50 Shades of Slash, an Instagram guy, JP. Met him for the first time, and I was sick to my stomach, and I'm like, whatever, we'll just enjoy our dinner, and I'll just have Jason build me another one, and we'll just make it cooler this time. Not that that was possible, because number 80 is pretty freaking cool, but I do have an idea for another interface that I'll get with you on the side, Jason. I have an idea that you may not have done yet, but I think it might be cool. Not sure I can afford it, but I got an idea. Got an idea. Yeah. And I do need to send my stuff down to him just to get kind of cleaned up and polished up and whatnot.
So my question is do people still like, I wonder how many people in the country wear those little EDC, like, you know, like they loop around your belt and they got like a spot for your flashlight and for your keys and for your this and for your that, for your knife.
I think the first person that comes to mind is Dennis, EDC for Fun. He has something like that he does carry. And for me, it kind of goes back into my installation days way back long ago. I'm going to date myself. We had pockets, you know, on our shirt, like a shirt pocket. And I had a pocket protector. But it had like a Sharpie that I used a lot. It had a little like tweaker screwdriver. It had a little like 4-inch pocket level that I used a lot. And it had like some the notepad thing. Like, and so I could just take that out of my shirt when I got home, stick it back in my shirt the next day. Because it was always that
protector guy, huh?
I was a pocket protector guy. It was kind of funny. So,
nice.
But yeah, does anybody have like a leather or does anybody carry like I have a
fanny pack,
like a fanny pack or something like that? I have a backpack that I have my laptop in. It's got too much junk in it too, because it's like a laptop. It's got usually my earbuds when I'm traveling. It's got charger cords for my phone, for my laptop. Usually has a book. It's got a little first aid kit. It's got, some stuff in it. Does anybody carry something like that daily that has more stuff than what you put in your pockets, perhaps?
Yeah, I like to usually only carry
What's up, James?
other than my phone and my keys and my wallet, like those things, like
Yep.
it's usually a knife and a watch. And that's pretty much it. I don't carry two knives. I have a flashlight, but I have it one stored at work in my
Okay.
drawer, and then I have a bunch of flashlights in here. I have one
Yep.
on my keychain, I have one in the car, so I don't carry it in my pocket, but pretty much almost everywhere I'm at, I have one.
Okay.
And pen is the same thing. I have a pen in my car. Sometimes I need to sign a check or do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a pen there, pen at work, pen, those are like, there's some things I like, instead of carrying on my person, I just have them stored
That
throughout
makes
where
sense.
I'm at throughout the day, because I don't like to carry a bunch of heavy crap all over, For
It
me, it's
does.
the wallet in the
Yeah.
back pocket, phone in the other back pocket, keys in the front pocket, and then I have my knife on the right side pocket, even though I'm a lefty.
Yeah. Yeah. I put my wallet in my front left and then a phone in each back. So I had to have a work phone. Like, I would prefer to just use my one phone for work also, but work has different thoughts and I carry two phones, which actually is fine. When people, I'm at a dinner or something with newer people and I pull out two phones, they're like, two phones, really? Dude,
Mm,
social media efficiency. I can read
drug dealer.
on one and I can respond on the other. Like, I gotta stay in contact with my peeps.
Yeah, right. That's like having two pagers, man.
I used to carry a pager way back in the day.
Yeah, me too.
Way, way, way back. So James
I
says
was around during the birth of that era.
yeah, and the original pagers only beeped. There was no
Yep.
display. Then
Yep.
I got one that had just a phone number display. And
Mhm.
then I got the alphanumeric display. And one of my pagers actually was a Sky pager back in the day. They went
Mm.
nationwide and had an 800 number. And it was on the bottom of every
Mm.
single employee's business card as a
Nice.
after hours pager. So I got a lot of calls on that.
Wow.
James says he uses a leather slip a lot for knives and flashlights. Is it a leather slip that holds a knife and a flashlight? Or
And
is
do
it a
you
leather
wear
slip
it on
for
your
a knife
belt?
and a second one? And do you put it on like on the outside of your belt, like a sheath? Or is it like inside your pocket with like a clip?
Yeah.
We need more
Those
details,
are cool
James.
too.
Need to give us
Very
all
cool.
the details, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to carry a whole bunch of stuff. So like I'm more like a pack rat, and I just put stuff in a little bit of extra everything in different little areas. A knife,
Mm-hmm.
flashlight, pen.
I have been
Um,
rethinking because it does get a bit uh, over the top, maybe, or it's a lot of stuff. Like it's 4 or 5 things, but then you add the phones and your keys and all that stuff that I'm not showing here. I'm a wallet. There's like, well, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that I showed, plus the coin is 6. A wallet, keys, phone. So there's 10 things extra that I'm putting in my pockets.
yep.
I don't
And
know.
I don't know. My right pocket's always dedicated for nothing but a knife, because I don't want to like scratch, the knife. So I don't put keys in there with it or any of that stuff.
I put like this and my key fob for my car and my one house key goes in my bottom of my right front pocket and my knife goes in that pocket too. I take the chance of scratching it out. Byron says the biggest consolidation I made was that has been made most useful is to move to a combined phone case cover wallet. Some guys call it a lose-em-all. I find I always know where it is, never set it down. I have seen those also. And yeah, I'm pretty protective about my phone, partially because one of them is work related and I have, work regulations. I can't leave it. If I am at the, fast food place, I got to get up to get napkins. I generally grab my phone, even if there's other
I find a
people
lot
at
of
the table.
humor in that lose them all.
I think that's a great way to do it. The lose them all. Yeah, I don't
that's
think I
funny.
would do that.
Yeah. You're
Dave Williams
putting all
uses
your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. I'm not sure I'm up with that one, Byron, but I get it. I see other people doing it.
Oh,
Leather
the
slip
leather
for
slip from
Dave.
the Sabenza.
Yep. So you
From
just draw,
Chris
and he
Reed
carries
Knives.
the small 31. He said earlier in a comment.
Yeah,
Which
when
is
I carry
cool.
the Sabenza, I would carry it in a slip pretty often before.
The small
Because
is just small, too small for me.
it is.
I have a small.
I have one right there.
What do I have here? I have a small 21, I think, Tonto that's here for sale. If anybody's interested, not mine. Viewer sent it in. I'm going to do like a whole for sale video here because I got 5 or 6 things of his to sell. One from somebody else, and you never know. I might throw a couple of my things in to sell. It's kind of that time, I think. James says in the pocket. So his leather slip holds the knife and the light. Sometimes it's 2 separate slips, but it's inside of his pocket. Okay. I get it. It's a lot of stuff that we carry around, and 9 out of 10 times we don't use any of it.
So this is the big one. This is the big Sabenza, but here's the slip he's talking about.
Yeah. And those generally come with a lot of the Sabenzas come with it.
Yeah, this came with the Sabenza.
But it's not all of them, I don't think.
I think it is.
Is it?
Well, I don't think the newer ones. I think the older ones.
The older ones? Okay.
And then that's what you got in your pocket. And that actually protect the knife really well. And since you had this little dingle bobber coming out, it's really easy to pull out the knife. So
and it protects whatever else is in your pocket. So then you could put your phone in that pocket also if you chose.
Exactly.
And you know that it's up against the leather of the slip that your knife is in. So you're not going to scratch up your knife, or are you going to scratch up your phone? So
exactly.
That's not a bad way to do it. Although I generally don't put my phone in my front pocket. This is too big and bulky for me. Other than when sometimes I'm like going down the jetway to the plane and stuff, it's just easier because my backpack is kind of over my shoulder, distracting my back pocket. So I'll just throw it in the front sometimes. But at that point, I'm flying, so I don't have a knife in my pocket. Nor do I have my pen. I don't know. I leave my pen in my checked bag.
I think that would be okay.
I have a regular pen on my backpack, so I always have a pen close by. And I've got a Sharpie or 2 on the inside if I need to mark stuff up or whatever. I think the pen would probably get through, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be at TSA with the $100 pen that I have to toss because I got nowhere to go to put it. I can't go back to the car because I'm probably somewhere where I don't have a car. So I just generally am more nervous about it. So I just throw it in my check bag. I check a bag every time I fly. I can't go anywhere without a knife. I literally put knives in my suitcase, and I hope and pray that they're there when I land. And sometimes they're cheap knives or normal knives, and other times it's multi-thousands of dollars that I ship in my suitcase. Lord Needham. Hello, gents. Hope you are well. Phone in the right front. Knives everywhere else. Flying? Yes. Check them. I do check my knives. I am a pretty good flyer. I've been flying for a long time. I have been carrying non-TSA approved things that I haven't even shown here for a long time. So whenever I've flown, my carry-on is completely approved, if you will, because I don't use that bag for anything that you shouldn't use it for. Like, does that make sense? I try to keep those types of things totally separate so that there's never an accidentally I left something in the bottom of that bag. Louie, like you, Dirk. Keys and flashlight go in the right front pocket. The knife slid in over the pants pocket seam. The wallet goes in the left front. Yep. Have I ever had anything stolen in a checked bag? I personally have never had anything stolen in a checked bag.
Me
I
neither.
currently use a Pelican case as my check bag. It's got wheels and a hand. It looks, it's basically a Pelican roll around suitcase. It's got pockets in the lid. It's specifically for air travel. That one is the largest one you can actually carry on a plane. They make a bigger one that is the largest that you can check. Well, I don't know if it's the largest you can check, but it does lock. And then what I do is obviously I lock it, but it's a TSA lock, so they can just open it if they want. I put little 6-inch zip ties in the holes where padlocks could go as a visual indicator to me, so that as soon as I pull it off of the roundabout conveyor thing, I look, and if my zip ties are still intact, I know that nobody's been in my bag. Now, granted, if they go in your bag, it's all mixed up and they put a piece of paper, but you're not going to notice that. Like, you may not open your bag at where you pick it up. You're going to notice when you get home, but then it's too late. So I put the little zip ties. I can check it right away, and then I can go right over to the ticketing or the customer service or whatever and check it and tell them I lost something, and they're going to laugh at me and say, no, we didn't take anything. And there's going to be not a damn thing I can do about it, and then I'm going to go home all pissed off. So
Smart though.
that's how I do it. Lord Needham, I once left a folding card knife in my wallet. TSA was not impressed. Now, I get that. I had one of those Spyderco cards years ago. I still have it. But I used to have that in my checkbook. And there was a time, you youngins may not remember, where you can take a knife on a plane. I flew with that Spyder card, whatever they called it, and a Spyderco police model many times. And the TSA or the screening person, because you did still walk through metal detector, I put my stuff in the little jar, and they looked at it and they saw my police model. They're like, "That's a nice knife." I'm like, "Thanks." And off I went to board the plane. So that was a thing way back. Speaking of EDC for fun, we were talking about you earlier. What's up? You probably missed us talking smack, but maybe your ears were burning, and that's why you showed up. Don't know.
Yeah, he needs to sell me his or swap me his Surge EDC in blue.
Yes. Did you see that video, Dennis?
Yeah, he saw it.
Oh, you saw it? And then
he left a comment.
Somebody else reached out to you yesterday wanting to buy something from you.
Yeah, I can't sell that one. Yeah.
He reached back out. He goes, "Yep, it is his, and nope, he's not selling it." And he gave me like a sad face, and I'm like, "Yeah, I can relate. I know this guy that's got a Fisher that won't sell it to me either, so I understand." And he laughed.
Well, that was my first Culture Tech knife I ever acquired. Like, that's kind of a special one. And
gotcha.
And I'm still kind of in hopes. It's a weird one too, because like
Hola, ¿qué pasen? ¿Qué pasó?
Hey, the Urs has like a polished blades like mirror, right? And the Svarn 3 is also supposed to come with that exact same finish. However, couple of the early ones, there's a couple of oddball ones that have more of a bead blast, and that's what mine is.
Okay.
So, it's kind of like it's a knife like and it's a washer knife that feels as good as bearings and
Yep.
I don't know, it was tempting because I'm like working on purchasing something else,
Yep.
but that was just not one that I could let go. The guy was really nice too.
Hey, that's fair. He's a great guy. And so he reached out to me and goes, "Hey, you did a video on this. Do you know where it is? Who owns it right now?" And off the top of my head, I didn't know. So I had to go search my channel and saw what it was. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it's probably Alex." And he's like, "Alex so and so?" No, no, no. Alex just, "Oh, yeah, I think I know him. I'll reach out." I'm like, "Okay, good luck." So
Yeah.
KF Boston is on vacation in Mexico. What did you take? He says his knives got there safe and sound. What did you take to Mexico and how long are you there? 1 Minute Knife Review lives 7 miles north of Mexico, apparently.
Oh, I'm assuming Texas or something like that, maybe Florida. Not Florida, but
Florida?
not not
Come on,
Florida.
man. That's like seven
Texas,
miles from Cuba. Like
Texas, that whole little ring
Texas,
where
Arizona, California, don't know.
well, yeah, but no, the other side too,
South
the east side,
Texas.
South Texas.
Pretty far south if he's just north of the border. So KF Boston took with him a Demko 20.5 and a Strider fixed blade. Not bad. The
I'm kind of
20.5.
impressed with those Demkos because I saw like him do an Instagram thing where he's like cutting cardboard with it,
Mm-hmm.
and it does pretty good. Like it's, like his I don't know if they do their own heat treat on it or whatever, but they're pretty proud of like the steel on these things apparently.
Mm-hmm. The 20.5s have grown on me. I don't own any Demkos right now. The last one I had, I think Alex still owns the 8020,
Yeah, I still have it.
which I did like. It was super cool. Eh, I had some of the 20.5s before. I had some other 8020s. I like them. I just didn't love them. I think my favorite one that I had was that green one that you have now in 3V.
Mhm.
So pretty
Yep,
cool.
yep. Yeah, I just kind of want a little one to go with a big one.
That's what she said.
Yes.
One of my knife reviews also has a 20.5 that he still carries. KF says he likes his 8020 way better, but
I miss my
the,
80/20.
the 20.5 is a good travel. Yeah, I get it.
I still think I had the coolest 80/20 out there ever. The one with it was like blue carbon fiber from what's that guy in Russia? Is like that higher end, like blue, really bright. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then John Demko completely like modded that thing too, did the rock pattern on a bunch of stuff. And that
Yeah,
knife was super cool with the scorpion lock.
yeah, pretty cool. But those things are big and they're bulky and they still carry pretty good, but they are for sure just like a bigger knife. And I carry some stuff that's like 10, 12 ounces. So I don't really
Well,
have a problem with big
I
knives.
liked it for its engineering. It was an
Hmm.
engineering wonder, like it was kind of a weird mechanical type design. It was basically like almost like how a backlock works in some respects, but just done in a different way, and I thought it was clever. So that's why I thought
Yep.
that knife was like that was a knife like that was one of the few that I regret selling. That was a cool knife.
KF Boston wants an AD15. Uh, I didn't love the 15.
I liked it.
Just me. Like engineering wise and stuff is cool, but it wasn't really my thing. 1 Minute Knife Review says the shark lock is very similar to a lock that Boker came out with on the Merlin. I am not familiar with that, but okay.
There's somebody that's doing a mixture of a shark lock and an axis lock all in one. I just saw a video on that. I can't remember.
How's that work?
It
So
had both. It was weird. So
so
you
you
could
could do
pull,
either or?
yeah, and then when you would pull the shark lock back, you'd see the bar lock kind
The
of move
bar
back on
so it was
its own
kind
with
of
it.
connected. So,
Right.
yeah, so by doing action on one, it released the, like, they were kind of married together, I guess.
Yeah, and it was
Oh, the ram lock?
somebody, I don't remember. It was a
I is
production knife. It was somebody
isn't
very something that's not out yet, I think.
isn't the ram lock really just a crossbar lock?
Yeah, like
It's
axis
just
lock, bar lock,
it's an access lock, it's a bar
arc
lock,
lock,
it's a Microtech is
whatever.
the one who came out with the ram lock, as Louis
Yeah,
is Microtech. Yeah, because I saw
that's
some
right.
at Blade Show West. There was one Microtech that was
No, it
pretty
wasn't a
cool.
Microtech knife. It was like a like more like lower production, like I
Uh,
think maybe overseas. I
okay.
can't remember, but yeah, you guys will see it when it comes out because it's going to be one of those knives. It's a popular manufacturer, but it
Okay.
has a shark lock and axis lock completely connected into one, and you can see like the back
Yeah.
spring move along with it. It's kind of interesting. I
Interest.
like that knife that you just kind of did a video on with the lion steel that turned into a push dagger.
That
That
was
was kind of
pretty
cool.
cool, huh?
That was
Like,
a
I still
super
have
cool
it
knife.
here. It's over there somewhere, but it's kind of cool. So it's a folding knife that opens like just a standard folding knife, and then you can hit a button, and then the like two halves of the handle kind of pivot, and it becomes a push dagger. It's actually pretty cool. I like it.
I've seen a few of those. I think either Reich Knives or one of those companies did one like last year or something like that. I
Yeah,
know
there's
Best
been.
Tech made one, right?
I think Best
Best
Tech
Tech,
did one also.
and then, but that's the best like mechanical
Yeah,
version of that I've seen out of
and
all
it
of
was
them.
super solid, super locked in. Like it was very cool.
Leave it
Lord
to Lion
Needham,
Steel to overdo something. Like
yeah,
they're good at that.
yeah. Lord Needham says, didn't Winter Blade Co. just release something today similar to that Shark Lock, Ram Lock, kind of a lock thing? I'm not sure. I don't. I mean, I
I
do
can't remember
follow.
if it was him or not. I don't
I
think it was him. I saw him do some other weird, but he's always doing like prototypes. They don't always come out, but he's
very few come out.
yeah, but he's doing tons of prototypes. So
James says similar to the Shark Lock's nest. I always get this
yeah,
wrong.
this next tan
Tan
super
has the
lock.
super lock.
Yep,
KF
that
Boston says
was before the shark lock.
KF Boston did not like the Ram lock. The only example I've checked out was a custom amphibian. The amphibian was pretty cool that I saw at Blade Show West. I'm
Mhm.
almost a little sad I didn't buy one because they had a great deal at the show. I don't remember what the price was, but my buddy Eric, who I was staying with, bought a couple, I think, and then is reselling. But the amphibian was pretty cool. That was a cool knife that I kind of wish I had. Or if somebody's got one, send it over so I can film it and stuff because it's pretty cool.
I've been like partially a Microtech fan for most of my knife collecting career. I don't have a lot of them. I've
Mhm.
sold a lot of the stuff that I had, but I've had a lot of them, and I've had a lot of cool ones too, like the Venom Tech. That was that
Yep.
Ultra Tech handle with a freaking Makarov like blade on it and all that. And I've got to say, like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this new generation of Microtech knives. with the
Right.
ram block. They're much bulkier. They look a little more import-ish to me than they used to. And I'm still like trying to
Mm,
figure out if the new Microtech stuff is for me or not yet. I'm glad that they actually put that thing on a stitch now too. That ram block, I think I
yes,
saw it
and
on
I
a
saw
stitch.
that at the show too. It's kind of cool.
That's how I always said if the stitch ever comes out in manual, then I might consider buying another one because I had a stitch before when they first came out years ago.
Oh, okay,
Um,
and they came out with the aluminum scales at Blade Show West also.
oh, cool, very cool.
So you have options now with the stitch. Um, Jason with the off-topic comment that we'll touch on. Off topic, but have you seen the Harbor Freight Icon knife? It's a
Yes,
pretty obvious copy of the mini glimpse, but no one seems to be talking about it yet.
that's not true because I already saw a few posts about that, Jason.
So there have been some posts on Facebook about it. And there's been an Instagram reel from like a commercial from Harbor Freight that I did send to Mark Begg and said, "Damn, you guys got a commercial now?" And yet this is absolutely a reverse engineered knife that has nothing to do with Begg, and we shall see how that plays out for Harbor Freight in the future. Um, yeah, Mark and I had a quick little discussion about it, but they're not happy. Just put it that way. That was
I
not
kind of want to buy one.
thing. And it's because like Mark is they're coming out with the whole very affordable under 40, under $30 lines that they had at
Well,
Blade
that's
Show
what made
West.
it even funnier because at first that's what I thought that was.
I
And
thought it was
then,
too because Mark had been talking with those types of stores and
right,
talking to Harbor Freight. And I'm guessing they had some samples of, hey, this is what we're coming out with and what we're doing. And then they decided to do their own thing. And so it's absolutely going to be drama.
that's
Put it that
funny.
way.
I
Yeah, no,
mean, it sucks, but it's funny, you know. It's like it never ends. There's always somebody doing that, but that is a really like super super replicated
yep.
blueprint of that knife. Like it really does look like a glimpse.
Yep.
Uh,
And I don't know why, like they could have picked almost any other knife in the world and it wouldn't have been as absolutely exact copy. Like it wouldn't have been as recognizable as a legit knockoff. Like you picked a knife that's already pretty, I don't even want to say iconic because that's your freaking knife brand name at Harbor Freight now, Icon, but like everybody knows the glimpse and
what if
that's what
the
you chose to
icon
knock off. I don't
is
know.
is icon the model or is icon the
Icon
brand?
is the line of knives, I guess, at Harbor Freight, and I don't.
So what if icon they reverse engineer all kinds of cool knives and make exact copy of
I
them?
don't know. And
That
to
would be
answer
funny.
EDC for Fun's question, we don't know who's making it for Harbor Freight. Um, I know
It's
that
not the bags. That's all that matters,
it's
really.
not the bags. It's not even an authorized thing from the bags. It's nothing to do with them. At first, I thought it was because in talking with Mark over the last several months, he had been talking to Harbor Freight. So I thought, oh, sweet, man, congrats. They got a commercial and everything. And was I mistaken? Um, but they do have they're really pushing the consumable market right now. The sub 50 and sub $30 knives that they're doing collaborations with, like JVO and Kirby Lampert and those types of guys is who they are making production knives now of in that $30 to $50 range, because they want to sell volume. They know that there's not going to be any warranty issues on a $30 knife. People will just go and buy another one. They're not going to send it in. They're just going to go buy another one. And they're hoping that people buy 10 of them to hand out to their friends, to hand out to their coworkers on the job sites and things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the Harbor Freight thing comes out.
Now there's nothing else to look forward to, like if that's all the crap that they're making.
Yeah, they're not really doing customs anymore. He says they may do a couple here and there, but it's all going to be the low end, mass produced, or low cost. I'm not going to say low end, low cost.
I think they made a big mistake. I think they should have done like, if they wanted to like make their stuff more affordable for other people, which now if you go to like years ago's pricing on like beg stuff, it's like a normal price for stuff for now.
Yeah.
So like the market's already like catching up to like what they're trying to do in some respects. I think if they wanted to do that, their best plan of attack would to be do more of those field grade like glimpses and bodegas, right? Like they're still bag made knives, but maybe they're not quite as fancy. Like they're 154 cm and with some carbon fiber and titanium, for example. And you got these like $850 knives to like $1,500 for maybe like a Damasteel one.
Right.
That would have been the market that I think the bags should have like hit harder. And instead of Harbor Freight consumables, like that takes you out of like the crowd you belong to in some respects, which they may not care, but it changes the dynamic.
It does. And I can't speak to where they're exactly thinking and coming from, but I get it. They want to do high volume and just sell a bunch. Like I kind of get it. I wish they hadn't have gone completely that way.
Well, yeah,
and
like
they would still
you
do
could
some
still
custom,
like
but their Steelcraft line was
import
perfect.
stuff. You could
Their
still have your
Steelcraft stuff was great.
Yeah. Have your cheap stuff to like whoever, whatever, like your wannabe glimpse or whatever it is. You have that as it's not, you don't touch those knives for, or maybe you have one guy you hire to QC those things when they come in before you ship them out, if you do it that way. But you keep your hands off that business. And then you concentrate on like doing like field grades and customs off to the side. So you still maintain that. And then you let this little beast feed itself, which it's going to, if that's what it is. Because in retrospect, like you're not going to make them. So you're not losing time. And then you can hire like somebody to QC them. That's not going to be something very difficult to do. They're going to be so cheap that the ones that are bad, you don't fix. You throw them away or give them away as a blem, right? Like whatever. And it's just too bad because although I never owned like a lot of bag stuff, I think I had like maybe like 2 in my life. Which I sold. I like that brand. Like that was one of the OG brands of like knife collecting back in those days. So for that era to end with bag knives kind of sucks for me because I always said, I'm going to get a glimpse. I'm going to get a bodega. I tried the production stuff. It was kind of cool, but the We made ones.
I liked them. We and Riot both had a hand in making Steelcraft stuff. I owned a lot of bags at one point. I think I had 14 or 15 at one point. I'm down to 4 now, and those 4 are, it's keepers. Like, I mean, I try not to ever say they're forever keepers. I'd never sell anything. I try never to use those words because I own several knives from people who claimed that they would never sell them and they would be gifting them to their children and things like that. And I now own them. So I try to be very careful and say, and not say that, hey, I'm never going to sell this thing because you never know. Life happens, and I don't judge people that do sell things that they said they never would, because you never know. Like medical
Things change.
bills, or you get laid off and you've got to pay your mortgage. Like, yes, there are knives that I hope I never have to sell. The bags are in that category of, stuff hit the fan, then they might get sold type of thing. But you never know.
James says he wonders what would happen if the two brothers hadn't split. I don't know if that made a difference in their trajectory in some respects, because they still both are. Well, I know Todd Begg is still actively making knives right now,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, he is.
So
He's in Texas now making custom bodegas and custom, actually just was making another custom Citadel that, like, I
nice.
thought was interesting. So yeah, he is still actively making custom knives. He's actually been selling a lot of his, I don't know about a lot, but several of his more historic pieces from other makers, like that he's had in his collection and stuff that he's been selling. So I don't know what's up with that, but I don't know, James. That is a good question, because there was several years of drama, and there's probably still drama, but there was several years of drama and legal stuff and all of that I heard way too much of, from both, because I'm friends with both Todd and Mark, and so I would listen to both and not really give my opinion, because I didn't really care. I like them both, and I will buy things from both of them, and that's it. If one of them doesn't like it, then that's their problem, not mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, good stuff. And yeah, Jason, thanks for bringing that up about the icon knife. That's a great little kind of topic for people to go and look at. I don't know what's going to happen. I know 1 Minute Knife Reviews was saying he couldn't find anything online. Maybe.
he found it. He says he found it.
Oh, okay, found it. So yeah, maybe Beg has already reached out to them and they've taken stuff down. I was going to say, but if you found something, I don't know what's going to happen. Don't quote me on that. But it is an interesting thing that we'll be curious to see how that plays out in the future.
But not a big deal. I mean, nothing new, like nothing I haven't seen happen before, like
It is absolutely
that
totally
stuff's
irrelevant,
always gonna happen,
but that's going to always
unfortunately.
happen. And at some point, can you really stop them? I don't know. Do you have the money
Now,
to
what
sue
about
them?
like the fake Norsemans on eBay that look like Norsemans and they're from China and they're like $150,
Yes, and there's
They're
Medfords
like
on there that,
titanium M390.
yeah, and then there's Medfords that are getting cloned left and
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
What else did I see recently that got cloned? Was it American stuff? Maybe.
Oh yeah, I think he did.
Merrick, I think
I think
American,
so.
like he kind of posted something, Kurt American from American Knives. I think he posted something in his Facebook group that like he hit the big time now that somebody cloned him, and like something in, on eBay type of thing or something, if I recall. But yeah, I mean, I guess Jason, you got to wait to hit the big time until somebody clones an interface. Then you've hit the big time.
Yeah, good luck cloning one of those.
That would be interesting to see, though. I might have to buy one of those.
Jason's gonna be like, if he can clone my knife,
More power to
he
you, dude.
deserves it. He deserves it.
Right?
Uh,
I don't know. But anyway, good show. Good
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I think we're at a good point. We try to keep it about an hour ish. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. I don't know what the dates are. We won't, around the holidays and stuff, it kind of comes and goes a little bit and stuff. So we may push a week here or there. But you can follow us on our normal channels if you're not already, but you probably are. That's how you found us over here. And have a great week. So, yeah,
Thanks,
glad I
everybody.
could catch one. Yes, thanks. 1 Minute Knife Review. We appreciate it. One last thing here on a brighter note, CCKS is almost here. Koning, Tashi, American, somebody I can't pronounce, and a bunch of others, plus more high-end makers Friday night. I
Yeah,
am 99% not going to make it this year. I
yeah.
just got back from New York. I've just been doing a bunch of stuff. I just don't think I can swing coming down. But
I'm gonna go, but I'm probably gonna go on Sunday because I work Saturday.
so yeah,
So
and if Alex ain't gonna be there Saturday, and I'm probably not gonna make it, James, but we'll see. I may get a kind of weird burr on Friday and just jump in the car and drive down and sleep in the car that night and go or something. I don't know. I'm trying to be kind of being cheap. I don't want to spend another $400 on a hotel and drive and all this stuff. It's like I'm over that. But yeah, I am kind of sad not going. So I don't know. We'll see.
yep.
So, but it'll be a good time for sure. I did just go to Blade Show West, so I did do a show already recently. So it's not the end of the world if I don't go. My problem is CCKS. There's friends of mine there, like James, like Edison from Sharknivco, like my buddy Tristan, who I get to see when I go to that show, and things like that. So that's why I'm a little torn about not going. So
And
we'll see.
if you're going on a Sunday, hit me up.
Yeah, anybody that's going on Sunday, hit up Alex. If you really want me to go, hit me up and let me know, and I'll start taking donations. No, I'm just kidding. All right. On that note, we'll let you guys go. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great week, and yeah, keep in touch. Boy, it says it's ending.